Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into my top 12 choices for the best JDMs in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let's get straight into it. Over the past 4 hours, I've been double-checking every single website in Grand Theft Auto Online. We have Legendary Motorsport and, most specifically, Southern San Andreas, figuring out which vehicles count as JDMs in the game. There's a couple rare ones, like we got the ZR380 over here, which is literally an arena war vehicle, but it is a JDM vehicle. Through my calculations, there should be about 44 JDMs in total. In today's video, as I said, we're going to be going over the top 12. Now, there's a lot of JDMs I wanted to put in this video, but I just couldn't because I personally like certain vehicles over others. So if your JDM that you really like or love to drive doesn't make today's video, just keep in mind that this is my personal view of what I really like and my top 12 picks. I'm not even really going off of performance here. I'm more going off of the looks and general reason why I like them. With everything said being aside, let's get straight into it, starting off with our number 12 position, our Future Shock ZR380. This is very clearly based off a Nissan Fairlady type design. We can see that on the rear of this vehicle. I would guess most likely a Nissan 350Z, something around that area. I actually really like the look of this vehicle. I own two separate versions. I have an armored version for wherever I want to do missions and drop mines and stuff like that. And then I have a normal variant, which you can see here, which has no upgrades on armor or anything like that. I specifically own this vehicle just because I think it looks really nice. It actually has a speed boost as well that you can put on it, which allows it to be the fastest vehicle out of all the JDMs in today's video, over 140 miles per hour. So it's actually a pretty fun vehicle. The only reason it doesn't make it higher on the list is because it still kind of has the armored look to it, which I don't think looks bad, but I don't think it looks as good as the other 11 vehicles in the list. And not only that, but it's almost impossible to drive this car, which is really unfortunate. While it does feature that speed, because it is an arena war vehicle, Rockstar made them super heavy and kind of cumbersome to drive. So it's a fun vehicle. It looks super nice, and I actually think it's an underrated JDM, but that's why it's making it in the number 12 position. In the number 11 position, we have the Elegy Rh8, which is very clearly based off a Nissan GT-R. Just like in real life, this is a very fast vehicle in-game, not only featuring a decent top speed for how old this sports car is, but it actually still has a very solid lap time in the sports category. Especially when you add in the fact that this vehicle is absolutely free to get your hands on. It's honestly a fantastic choice for any new player or even experienced player to get their hands on. Plus, it looks really nice. The only reason it's not making it higher up on the list is because it just doesn't have a lot of upgrades or any special options to differentiate your Elegy from anybody else's, which is a little bit of a bummer. I'm kind of hoping Rockstar does give the Elegy some new liveries and new customization in the future, because we've seen them do that for vehicles like the Turismo and the Zentorno, so it would be really cool to have this vehicle get some new revamped customization. But even with that, it is still an amazing vehicle to drive. It looks super nice, and it's just a fantastic vehicle. The only sports classic to make the list is sitting in the number 10 position, the Karin 190Z, which is clearly based off the Datsun 240Z. Not only do the names sound similar, but they look almost identical. I absolutely love the look of this sports classic. I actually would have to say this is probably one of my favorite sports classics in the game. Not only does it just look so nice, but the interior's got a lot of detail in it, which is really cool, and the vehicle itself just has some fantastic livery options, some overall great upgrades. It is a super cool looking sports classic. Now, it's not anything impressive on the handling, nor does it feature an incredible top speed, which is why it doesn't make it much further on the list, but it's just such a nice car to drive. This is one of those sports classics I pull out when I want to chill with a friend, have a little bit of fun, just drive around, enjoy the scenery in a car. This is the vehicle I pull out, and I mean, can you blame me? This thing just looks so dang clean. In the number 9 slot, we have a truly underrated car in my eyes, which is the Karuma. We all know the armored Karuma, which is a pretty fantastic vehicle if you want to complete missions. However, a lot of people forget about the normal Karuma. This vehicle is only $95,000. You can buy it on Southern San Andreas. In real life, this is very clearly based off the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo X. It's just such a nice looking car. First of all, it's a 4-seater, which is really nice. It means that if you ever want to do heists or any missions, you can seat 4 people. Not only that, it's all-wheel drive, and just like in real life, this vehicle has some amazing drifting capabilities and even better rally capabilities. You can drive this thing off-road and just stick to the ground like a beast. In fact, you can see mine has a rally build, not only with the livery, but even off-road tires. So it's just a super nice car. It's got some great customization. As you can see, it's got great liveries added to the vehicle. I really love the Karuma. It's nothing incredible. I mean, it doesn't feature the best lap time or top speed for the sports category, but it's just a fun, really nice car to drive and have in your garage. Breaking into the number 8 position, we have the Mazda RX7, or in GTA, it's known as the Annis ZR350. This vehicle is just so cool. First of all, it's got pop-up headlights. How can you not like pop-up headlights? But as well, it's got a Wankel rotary engine, and how can you not like the rotary engine? I mean, sure, they're not always the most effective. Sometimes they blow up. But if you treat a Wankel right, they are some of the most powerful and craziest engines you will find in real life. How small they are and how much horsepower they produce is absolutely insane. Now, the ZR350 does not have amazing top speed or really handling, but it's just a super fun car to drive. It has absolutely amazing customization, and that's something I'm always looking for when it comes to a JDM, is not necessarily speed or handling, but just customization going for the vehicle. And yeah, this vehicle gets an A+ when it comes to customization. So overall, ZR350 is just a fun car. I wouldn't suggest to buy it if you're a person looking for speed, but if you're a person just looking for a super nice car and a fun one to drive, definitely pull the ZR350 out. It's an amazing car to bring to car meets. Next up in the number 7 position, we have the Sultan RS. This vehicle has some of the best customization options in the game. Not only can you make it wider with the fender arches, not only do you have some amazing spoiler options, but livery options, front designs, everything. You can make a completely unique vehicle to what you like, and your friend could have the exact same car and upgrade it completely differently. That's what I like to see about customization in JDMs, and it's something that is really cool about the Sultan RS. Now, when it comes to pinning exactly what this vehicle is based off of, it's honestly a little tricky. I would say that it's based off of a Mitsubishi Lancer 6, but that's mostly because that's what the Sultan is based off of. So it is a little tricky to pin exactly what this supercar is based fully off of, but I would definitely say Mitsubishi is the manufacturer of descent. But overall, it's a really, really fun vehicle to drive. It is in the Supers category. Unfortunately, it's not very fast, only going at a top speed of around 116. It's pretty lame for the Supers category, but it does feature very solid handling. So if you're trying to have some fun with some friends, drive around, and, you know, have a good time overall, the Sultan RS is a very, very fun vehicle to get, and especially if you want to bring it to car meets, it will definitely turn some heads, although a lot of other people probably have the same idea in mind. In the number 6 position, we have a lot of people's favorite vehicle, and that is the Toyota Supra. This, when it first came out, was basically the only car you would see in car meets. It was the only car you'd see for quite a while on the streets of Los Santos. I am a big fan of the Supra, especially in real life. The price tags are going crazy on these vehicles, so it's a pretty fun car. Unfortunately, I just think that it's a bit too overrated for me. Like, so many people want the Supra that I just personally don't ever like to have it super high on my list because everybody else has it in their list. You bring this vehicle to a car meet and there's going to be a lot of other people with this car. And also, it doesn't have the craziest customization, which kind of brings it down a notch for me. A lot of the tuners vehicles have crazy good customization options, and for some reason Rockstar didn't really give the Supra crazy customization. It's got some options here and there. You got some decent spoiler options, you've got some bumper options, but for the most part there really isn't a whole lot you can do to the Supra, which is just a bit disappointing in my eyes. So it's still a really good vehicle and it makes it quite high on the list. I just think the other vehicles are a bit better either on customization or overall looks. We have now arrived at the final 5. These are the vehicles that I absolutely love to drive in Grand Theft Auto Online, and let's start ranking them. First of all, in the 5th place position, we have this, the Emperor Vector. I really like the Vector. It's a super fun car. In real life, it's obviously based off the Lexus RCF, which is not only an incredibly nice looking vehicle, but actually has a crazy amount of power. I always love Lexus. I just think they make some of the coolest JDMs and are kind of underrated on some of them they make, and the Vector is definitely one of them. I think the vehicle has amazing customization. It looks just so dang nice, and add that into the fact that this is by far one of the best tuner vehicles in the game, basically tied for the RS Classic in lap time. It's also got amazing handling. There's really nothing bad I can say about the Vector. It just looks great. The only reason it doesn't make it higher up on the list is because the other vehicles I love so much that I had to put it in the 5th place position. Speaking of the next vehicle up on the list, we are going to have the Jester Race Car. This is a vehicle that I always will love. It's based off the Acura MSX, which in real life is already an incredibly stylish and amazing looking vehicle. But how can you not like the look of this car? I mean, it's a classic. It's been in Grand Theft Auto Online basically since the release. And not only that, but it still has very good lap time for how old the vehicle is, still in the top 20. Not only does it have really good lap time, but it's a decent top speed, and again, the vehicle just looks so cool. I mean, this livery, especially with the color option I put on, I always fall in love with this vehicle when I drive it. Especially because you don't really see this car on the streets anymore. It is an amazing vehicle to pull out in car meets and anything like that. So I'm just a huge fan of the Jester Race Car. It's a vehicle that I would highly suggest to get your hands on if it ever does come back, which it most likely will. And then there were 3, and finishing in that 3rd place position, we have the Emperor ETR1, an incredibly amazing supercar. This is clearly based off the Lexus LFA. If you like JDMs, you most likely like the Lexus LFA. Not only does it have possibly the best sounding engine in any car in real life, but it's also just an amazing car. A fun little fact about the LFA is that Lexus actually lost money on when they sold them. It cost them more money to produce the LFA than they actually made on the sale, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. It is truly a car lover's vehicle, and that is the case in GTA. For a lot of people, this might not be their look, but for me, I think it's one of the coolest looking cars in the game. I love the angular design. I love the overall customization it has. There are some cool liveries you can put on the vehicle. It's just a super cool car in general. Add that into the fact it's actually got some of the best handling in the supers category and a pretty decent top speed, and yeah, it's actually just a super cool vehicle. So I would highly suggest to think about getting your hands on the ETR1. And here we are down to the final 2. Which one is it going to be, the RE7B or the Elegy Retro Custom? Well, for me, I gotta go with the Elegy Retro Custom in the number 2 position. I love this car, and to be honest, I'm surprised it even made it this far. I didn't know what I was going to rank these vehicles until starting the video, and then I just started picking them in whatever order I thought I liked them the best. And the Elegy Retro Custom is just one of those vehicles that looks too good to not make it into the 2nd place position. Sure, it's not the fastest car, doesn't have the best lap time, but look at it. I mean, it just looks amazing. You can have so many different customization options, so many different liveries, and so many different ways you can actually have the end result of this vehicle looking like, that it's just such a cool car. And the fact that it's not even that popular anymore is crazy to me. This vehicle, when the Benny's cars all came out, was probably the most popular vehicle to see in the game. And nowadays, it's not even really seen at all in car meets, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. It is still an amazing looking vehicle, and I can really never diss the Elegy because it's just such a cool car. Obviously, this is based off the Nissan Skyline GTR, which is an amazing vehicle in real life as well. So overall, it's just a super cool vehicle, and if you don't own it, make sure to get your hands on it. And as the 1st place finisher, we have a vehicle that a lot of people probably don't even realize is a JDM, the Mazda 787B, or in GTA, the Annis RE7B. This vehicle has a crazy story behind it. It uses a Wankel engine, and it won Le Mans, I think in 1991 if I'm not mistaken. It is the only time Mazda has ever won Le Mans, and it is absolutely insane. There's a whole video on it. You can watch multiple different YouTube channels that all talk about the craziest win probably ever in Le Mans, and the fact that Mazda again won with a rotary engine. It's insane. And this vehicle in GTA for many years was one of the best racing cars ever. It was insane, and it still is. It's still in the top 20 for lap time in the Supras category. It is crazy fun to drive. It looks amazing in my eyes, so there's no doubt in my mind why this made the first place finish. I knew the moment I saw it that it was going to reach first place, because it's always been a car that I've always loved and has been very close and dear to my heart, and yeah, it's an amazing vehicle. So this is the RE7B. It's such a cool car. If you don't own it, it's a little expensive, and there are vehicles better than it, but man, is it a cool vehicle. And as I said, a lot of people really don't consider this a JDM, but it is. It's a Mazda domestic vehicle. It's absolutely incredible. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is my top 12 JDM vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online. We have the RE7B, the Elegy Retro Custom, ETR1, Jester Race Car, the Emperor Vector. We've got the Jester Classic, Sultan RS, the ZR350, the Karuma, the 190Z, the Elegy Rh8, and finishing off the Annis ZR380. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.